All right, so the issues have been resolved. We're ready to roll. We've talked about the match quite a bit, but of course, for those of you just joining us, it is going to be Dignitas versus Immunity, the second best of 3 in Group A. Winner moves forward to play Cloud9, and the winner of that will be qualified on day 1. Loser moves down to play, why am I forgetting already? My goodness.
Rocket.
Thank you, Rocket, the Finnish side.
Well,
why do I do that like every time? Like it's like I can't remember 4 teams.
Mixcat?
It's Rocat now.
It's Mixcat, now it's Rocket.
Yeah, it was Mixcat.
Although
but
apparently
either way,
we're mispronouncing Rocket. I don't know how we're supposed to pronounce it, but we're putting too much emphasis on the second C.
I think so.
So please,
just go Rocket.
Correct yourself.
Can we just be Team Rocket like Pokemon?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. Either way, that'll be an elimination match. So that'll be the first deciding match that we get. That'll be this evening. But of course, starting off here, this has implications. A team that has failed to qualify for the major quite a few times. Dignitas, a lot of pressure on them, and Immunity, who's made it a few times now with the regional aspect of the qualifiers that don't exist anymore. We haven't really done predictions. We'll do that once we get there. But again, maps, Cash, Inferno, Mirage. What do we actually think that each team, who do we have to watch for, and what play styles do we have to see from either side to be successful?
Well, I think that's a very hard question to ask, basically. Because
that's why I asked you guys.
Because
you're the pros.
No, simply because we don't have that much information about Immunity. Like, they played their 2 games over a month ago. Before that, we haven't seen him for a long time as well. I mean, we are here putting so much weight on Ricky's shoulders, and maybe that was just, a good game from him. Maybe that's not his usual level. Maybe the other guys usually step up. Like, we don't know that. So it's hard to say, like, who has to step up or what has to happen. I mean, for both teams, I think it's really unpredictable. I said before that I think Immunity is going to upset. So is it going to be now or maybe at a later point? I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a close game for sure, probably 3 maps.
I'm just going to stay silent until you guys come back in here. Chris, what are your thoughts on it?
On a game?
Whatever's on your mind, if you really want.
On life is...
Again, I mean, is everything okay?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay. You don't have to ask me that.
Drink some Monster.
200 times.
I'm worried about you, Chris.
Okay. Like, the game is going to be good. That's what I'm 100% sure about. I'm not sure if it's going to go to 3 maps, though. I think Dignitas is going to win it 2-0. But I think at least one of the maps is going to be overtime. It's going to be a close game on the one, and then the other one is going to stop.
Is bold. Which map?
First one.
First one.
I agree.
Cash. I agree.
I agree, because I think that Cash is a stronger op map over Inferno. And again, if I'm putting all of my chicks onto Ricky, we need him to be able to demonstrate what he's capable of with the AWP. And Inferno, it can be hit or miss with oppers. Some oppers excel on the map, some oppers don't like opping on the map, right? So I don't think that he's going to really be able to show us what he's capable of there. But Cash, he could definitely, basically give us a show with the op.
Yeah. I mean, if I can say something about these teams, or I could give an advice to Immunity, it's just be confident in your play, because they have for sure had more time to prepare and everything. They've had the same roster for at least 3 months, I think, from June or something like that, maybe even May, so they definitely have a lot of set strats, things they can fall back on, and they just have to stay calm, composure, and if they do that, I think they can for sure put up a good fight and probably even take Dignitas.
It's interesting. So we're all kind of favoring then toward Dignitas.
I think we have to. I mean, you'd be insane to...
Nope.
Unless you're a diehard fan.
No Dignitas.
And do you think Immunity in 3 then?
Yep.
Oh.
I said, I'm not sure if it's going to be now or later on in the group, but I think it's going to happen. I see, Immunity upsetting, it's bound to happen.
Do you think so? Huh. Interesting. Which then would put Dignitas against Rocket.
I love that, because when people say, interesting, what they're really thinking is, yeah, right, you're right,
it's not happening.
I don't have to say. Again, I am immunity from making predictions as the host.
I think you meant immune.
No, immunity. I'm immunity from making predictions.
Sure, buddy.
But maybe I just did. So am I on the Serbian side? I don't know if I want to mess with this guy.
I think we can go ahead and flip the table here. So what do you think, Sadokist? What's your prediction for this?
Flip the table. Everyone's stacked against me. I actually do think Dignitas. I think 3 maps, though. I actually do think 3. And I think Cash could be stolen by Immunity, to be honest, in their play style. I just think it's more open. It's got more opportunities than Inferno, which is, again, a choke point situation. It's too much economic sustainability from either side, whereas if you get things rolling on Cash, and that op comes out more for Ricky, then I think they have a much better chance.
I'm really curious where Dignitas are going to put Schneider on Inferno, because he used to be a really solid B-side player. Do you think that they're going to put him back there?
I think I'm not sure. I haven't played against him within you
in a long time.
No.
I always remember him being B, but he did swap over to A.
Did
I remember
he
him
really go
playing
B
Pit.
before? I'm not sure, to be honest.
There was a period where he was playing B.
Ah, okay.
But he also played Pit on A, I think, as well.
Like to be honest, I haven't seen Snyder for such a long time, so I cannot really remember exactly what he did, like where his usual position is on, because I'm playing against him a lot online since all his pucks and mixes and so on. But that's completely different thing, you know. You're always playing different spots every time and so on. So I'm pretty unsure where he's usually gonna be staying. I just hope that Dignitas are usually going what they look like in London, when they usually do like the simpler thing for the team itself, like letting him do his stuff over here and then the rest of the four work as a team here. But I'm not sure if he's gonna be one of those people that, how to say it?
There we go.
I think they're ready.
I think they're ready as well. But I don't think that he fits into that role to be like alone and doing that stuff. I think he should be in the stack, around the stack, not first, but like second or third one, going there, and then he's gonna shine. What I believe. But then it's hard. What is it? 2 weeks ago he joined the team.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and again, the language community, the barrier, like you're saying, second one, and I guess he just reacts to what he sees in front of him. It might help in that sense that he doesn't have to relay all the information as the first man in, per se.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing as well is the site we saw him play the best on the T side so far was the B platform on Cobblestone. Obviously, that's not going to be in this series. Dignitas took it out, oddly enough.
Sure.
But where does he go on Inferno? Like you're saying, Chris, to the T side, second man in could make a lot more sense.
Probably
for
walking
him.
House then. That's a team.
You think so? If he's going to play like more the Heat Go style,
boiler or going House, like apartment directly, I think, and then he has some help from there. Yeah. But you never know. That's the thing. Did they play Inferno in London?
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
No, so
that's why I'm kind of speculating as to where they're going to put him.
I mean, I would prefer to have him there at least. If
I would think House and not Banana, taking point on Banana.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Seems to be like there's more variables in House, right? If you're trying to communicate rapidly, you might have trouble if it's like bedroom, if he's in first room, bedroom, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, compared to like Banana, if he takes point on Banana, it's like, okay, car or sandbags.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it sounds like the whole European scene is starting to use this Face It Pro League thing, and everyone is talking English there and all the time.
Point.
So I know, for example, Snyder's been playing a lot with like Asin, Kirby, and Pimp and those guys in there in the mixes. So, I mean, everyone is having similar, like, how they're saying the names of spots.
Yeah, call-outs are pretty standard.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes there, but we'll see, I guess.
Exactly. Okay, so AWP then for Ricky on a map like Inferno when we get there T-side. Does he even go for it? I mean, again, this is another player. We're talking about dimensions with rifle or
we've been
sticking with it.
Like this talk about Schneider on Inferno as well. I feel like Inferno is more about the team. You need to have a plan as a team. You don't have so much room for doing stuff by yourself. Like basically the only thing you can do if you're going for a B hit, you have one guy in boiler, like Get Right used to do all the time, and he can make a play there. But besides that, it's all like narrow choke points where you can't really do something by yourself. You have to play more as a team and then work around that. Taking map control of Banana, we'll see how Immunity does that on their city side. Will they go for the aggressive smokes? Will they play defensively? That's the thing. We don't know anything about them, basically.
Again, knifing for sides, does that play a factor on I'd say Cash, maybe less so. You guys have actually, in TSM, have elected to start out T-side on Cash in events in the first map to try and catch other teams off guard as such. But Inferno more so, does that play a huge factor for these teams?
Like starting as CT?
Yeah.
I mean, I think nowadays I'll see as it looks like, since there's so many choke points on Inferno itself, everyone wants to start CT and so on. But if you would ask me personally, if we want a knife and which side would I start to, I would say T. It doesn't really matter what map it is, because I wanted to decide how the game should be going to, and like how it's gonna be. It's gonna be a fast game, slow game, something between it. I wanna be that person in charge of that instead of giving it to the other team.
Interesting point of view, because everyone always talks about why teams always take CT. Usually it's like you say, the defense, the money, it's just a lot easier to start there.
No, but it's more like, since, for example, like people know, like when I was in game leader for NIP, and everyone was like kind of shocked that like every time we want a knife, I pick T directly. There was like no questions asked about it, because I wanted to work around and to see like how we can attack the defense and so on. Because if a game goes to overtime, then I basically have come up with a new plan how we're actually going to attack the site and how we take over, different areas and so on. And I want to be, welcoming directly to the game, because if your idea is working directly as a game leader and you're going to be, successful at attacks and so on in the beginning, then you're going to decide how the game is going to end. But then if it's going to be harder, then at least you have a good thought how you're going to be, make it better next time if you're going to be having an overtime in that game and so on.
And I used to say that, and I don't know how much you would agree with this, but also just being able to not only dictate the pace of the game, but knowing exactly what you've got to do on the CT side and how much risks you can take and not take. I mean,
this as well is true.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a factor of getting the hard side done early because you don't have as much creative freedom perhaps on the offensive side. Almost done solving that one PC issue, and then we will jump immediately into the game. Again, this will be the second best of 3 in Group A. And again, guys, moving forward, maybe we can shift off this a little bit because we've kind of grinded out everything I think there is to talk about. But coming up tomorrow, Group B, Group C after that, and D. Which group do we think is the hardest overall? I think I would look at...
I think that tomorrow we're... Actually, Group B and D have been switched in the schedule.
Oh, are we?
So I think that...
How did you know that? And I didn't.
Group
That's
D
incredible.
is like the second day, so tomorrow it's like...
you don't count in order
It's going to be Flipside.
Yeah, Flipside, CLG... and the other two teams in that
there was a team
group.
from London that was there in Group D.
Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, I think it's Copenhagen Wolves.
And it's Lounge Gaming.
Yeah, Lounge Gaming, which is the
group.
former Gamers 2 / former Dorbian Gaming roster. That's the Polish roster.
I'm really excited about seeing Flipside.
Yeah, like for example, now I'm going way up top. Okay,
well, we can. Let's go.
Like,
how,
the whole ESA thing, like with banning like betting companies to be named. How is like CS:GO Lounge, for example, their team having here?
And
what are they gonna do in this
up.
tournament? Like, yeah, they just got picked up and so on. Are they gonna even try to change it in this tournament and so on? Or are they gonna be even having that as a nickname this tournament?
I haven't actually discussed that with them, and I actually think the ESEA ruling was a direct result of that team being picked up because that was like the final straw. You've got Easy Skins as well. eBettle just changed their name away from it because they didn't want to be identified with a betting site anymore. So you're right. That's actually a good point. Where do they go from there?
Of course, it's too soon anyways. I guess they're going to be sticking to it. But are they even planning on, changing it? Or are, like, CS:GO Launch going to drop the team because they want to be associated with that name,
I mean, it's a tough call, and that's one we're going to have to find out more about. I haven't actually read into all the fine lines of the ESA ruling yet just because it was announced just before London, so I didn't fully see it, but you're dead right, and there's a couple teams that would be affected by that as well. Yeah. But let's go back to the groups talk for a minute. Which group do we think is actually the most complicated? I would say
there's more than a couple teams because you have teams that are like, does Alpha Draft count as a sponsor now, as a gambling site sponsor? If you're, you have a lot of these gambling sites now that are actually sponsoring teams, whether they name the team or not. You'd be talking, Renegades, for example, I think that's like their only sponsor. So what happens to Renegades?
Yeah, but like, for example, what I only understood with the rule is that they cannot have it as a, a
name. I
think. I think everyone could be sponsored by these companies, but they cannot have it as their directly named. Let's say like TSM had Kingwin, for example. It was TSM Kingwin.
Or EasySkins.com, for example.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then
give me a lot of free advertising for EasySkins.com, right?
Well, Henry's the bro, right?
Yeah, I know.
Well, he was the clever one that picked up the team first, and obviously right before a big tournament, he just naturally got a lot of exposure. I think Thorin and Richard gave him the most amount of exposure they've ever gotten inadvertently while trying to harp on them. But I've got news. We'll get back to these conversations after, and again the group chats as well, because the Knife Live is round. The Knife Live is round. I'm gonna try that again. The Knife Round is live.
Well played.
Good try to mess me up, but that does mean we will be heading to the casters. We've got a different pairing this time. It's DDK and Anders that will bring you the action between these two teams.
Woo. Life Round Knife Live. I have no idea what Matthew just managed to say, but I'm here with DDK. So how do you feel, Dan, about this particular matchup? Immunity versus Dignitas?
Yeah, this is really cool because I have almost this weird kind of connection with Immunity, I feel like, because I saw them come over for the first time out of Oceania. They came in boot camped in our office for like a good week and a half or something before that Face It tournament. So I got to know the guys pretty well, and it was very cool to see the kind of motivation they're bringing to the table, because for them that's still, and it still is right now, for them to be able to play in Europe, it's such a huge opportunity. But since all that happened and they went to the various tournaments and so on, we haven't seen a lot from them. Yeah. And so I think it was brought up on the analyst desk there. We've seen 2 maps in like the last month at the major. One of which was against Kingwin, or now Gamers 2, yes. Or Games 2, something like that. And yeah, they looked not so bad actually. It was a pretty close result, but those are 2 maps. There's not much to tell from that. But Sniper, he was telling me that their practice has gone so remarkably well. He's quite surprised. And previously he puts down their poor results to a match fitness idea as opposed to anything else. Not necessarily nerves, but match fitness.
Yeah, that's a pretty good term actually. I'm super excited for this. This is a best of 3. When they played the major, they played best of 1 games. The group stage didn't really get a chance to see them much, and what little we saw of them, you were kind of left feeling hungry for more. You know, they actually looked really impressive. Dignitas here going to be starting on the terrorist side of Cash as the first map, and Immunity on the CT side, and it's all armor except for Ricky with the defuse kit and a really quick boost in middle here. A lot of speed coming into it, and Ricky going to be the first one up with a headshot there on Kirby, looking for what he gets to. How is he not dead? Finally goes down to MSL, but that puts a huge break on the terrorist push here.
Yeah, this has completely changed around. These are good calling coming in from Dignitas, see if they can react on the fly, and they are going for that B push into the vents. There's not many CTs here to defend it. They get some great grenades off, just trying to play it super safe, get that Molotov onto the site. I really love, despite the chaos, we're seeing a lot of a methodical approach here from Dignitas, but doesn't matter how methodical the approach is. I'm doing it now as well, not just Matt over by the analyst desk. But it doesn't matter how methodical you are, if those shots are connecting to your head, you're gonna have some issues.
Pimp doing a really good job trying to make it work there, and if they had got the bomb down, then Schneider's flank here would be amazing, but now it's kind of just a little bit awkward because they know where he is coming from. They've got the bomb in there, and he only has about 35 seconds and no grenades or anything to try and make this work with, so I love the change of pace. I think you're absolutely right. That was really smart from Dignitas. Just, they ran into some trouble. They were back to B instead. Schneider going to get shot down. Ustilo to drop him, and that will be the round for Immunity. But I mean, Ricky getting the double and then even staying alive for a really long time. Just no idea how that even happened, but very impressive here.
Yeah, it's quite funny actually, because usually when you see these kinds of pistol rounds, okay, everyone's kind of tending to think, okay, the CTs are usually going to be playing the A retake, they'll be very defensive, they'll spot in mid, but we saw the spot in mid there, and Ricky could have backed off, but he's almost like rubbing his hands like, I'm going to go straight in there, go straight down short, and manage to get the kills, but here we go, it's going to be Dignitas in with a Tech 9 buy.
Yeah, and Immunity with 3 P90s. Get Right, who was just on the couch, is going to be super excited, isn't he, Dan?
Oh yeah, he loves a good P90. So here we are. The Tech 9's about ready to burst into the bomb site, and I'm also ready. He's even got a death by Kadisi, and I'm so pleased.
Well, playing for the back lines here. Initially spotting a lot of people out running and gunning, but they actually lose 2 players in that bomb site. Ustilo, imagine both going down now. 3 versus 5. Bomb is about to be dropped as well. Sniper sneaking in here by the forklift, but not checking the corner. MSL is in there, and it's going to be very nearly a free kill for him here. Takes him out, but they do lose Schneider in the meantime, so still a 2v3. Ricker coming into it, getting the 1 kill, going for a second, but he's out of health and goes down. MSL picks up the double, and Dignitas are going to bring it back with sort of a fairly simple push, in fact.
Oh yeah, that's going to be, I mean, we were geared up for that P90 to do some savage damage in that round, but this is that awkward situation, isn't it? It's like, okay guys, we won, CT pistol. Oh dear, it's even worse now. We actually, if we just would have lost that pistol round, things would have been better for us, but now we got reset, we're going to force buy back, and they want to see if they can get that pressure and just lean on Dignitas's also currently weak economy, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, a bit of a blow to them early on. I mean, they did so well in that pistol, and now been reset just a little bit. Seems like the Danish side have just decided to group up towards this B bomb site. Not really much, you know, scouting around here. They're just going to go full force. So if there was a stack in this bomb site, that might have been a big problem, but now you can tell the rest of Immunity are just kind of scattered to the winds here. Just have to fall back and maybe look for a couple of exits, especially with the scout. But I mean, it's like a, you know, it's like a philosophical difference almost. Some teams like to get a lot of intel in these anti-ecos, and others just like to go quick so that they don't slowly get whittled down over time, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's I really liked how Dignitas approached it too, because with that B push, you can kind of almost mix the kind of slow methodical approach, but still get kind of like the least kind of variables, which I guess is kind of what you mean, like so that you make sure that you can't get caught out. And I really like the B bomb site for that, because you can get into that vent room with, you know, maybe like 1 Molotov in the envious box. I call it sometimes the box right at the back there in the vent room, and then get the grenades onto the bomb site. It's like pretty quick and easy, and it's really, really nice. And I really like what it says about Dignitas, because to me, Dignitas, every time I've watched them, you can see a lot of rehearsal in what they do, a lot of drills. They really think about the game, and they stay calm in chaotic situations, generally speaking, with the calling.
Yeah, MSL has done a really good job with this team, I feel like, and probably has even more to show. I mean, I guess maturing as an in-game leader is probably what takes the longest, but he's already doing a pretty good job right here. So 1 armor pistol left, that's Ustilo, but the 1 sniper has the Scout, and that's pretty much all they have here on Immunity's side. And again, a pretty quick push into middle here, although a headshot from that Scout, it's going to be all he gets. Sniper grenade is returned, but still, it's a nice kill.
Yeah, we can see, so much space created for the Dignitas team because Schneider's got himself middle, and they can really easily start to deduce, okay, where the CTs actually are, where are the danger zones, how do we clear those out together. That said, it looks like Ysilio is going to take the onus to just go straight into a main. He will pick off one of the players on the outskirts. But Dignitas, they've got that B bomb site under control, so despite losing a couple players and potentially giving away a couple guns, depending on how the rest of this round plays out, I think they're pretty happy with this.
I mean, AK armor safe from Estilo. Imagine running away with the Scout, or sort of maybe trying to get a couple of exit frags here. But I mean, even saving a Scout's not really that bad. I mean, obviously they're going to be buying rifles next round, but Scout could be used, although he's going to get caught by Schneider. That was some interesting spray there. So it seems like the AK is going to be all that survives this particular round. What do you feel like, though? I mean, CT side, Cash here, you think they're going to try and go for an early AWP?
I'm not sure with Immunity. I mean, it's quite possible because they can play the AWP on multiple players, actually. Yeah. So they could try to go for that super all-in style of play where you get double AWPs underway. But I feel like they're going to be more concerned with their economy because equally so, they are quite a versatile team. And I think we could see James doing a lot with the M4. He always was like a really, really big M4 player. And now that it's definitely taking, since the new patch, it's taken much more love from the community because it's just is better right now than the M4A1. Yeah.
It turns out you're right as well, Dan, because they did go all rifles instead, but as a result, they can afford more utilities you're talking about here. They've got the Molotovs as well. They've got Ricky boosted up here, looking for Kebby. It's so close.
The tease.
Just waiting. I don't think Kebby has any idea he's about to get shot in the face. Ricky pushing back a little bit there. He actually does spot it, and after all that excitement, nothing comes of it. We got robbed.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my chair there, not knowing what was going to happen. But look at that. Sniper's actually pushed into the mid-warehouse. So that is crazy. You can take, if you're really smart and patient, you can take some crazy off angles and catch the Ts as they go for rotations. It's really, really dangerous. But it's a very hard position to play as well because you don't want to be too greedy, but you need to be greedy enough. So Immunity with a significant advantage. He's actually going to go forwards and Kirby's going to find him. That's really unfortunate. Maybe too greedy, potentially.
Yeah, but the way that Kebby peeked that angle, it looked like he was aware that someone was coming. That's incredible. Imagine he's spraying behind the smoke, but it disappears and he's going to get overwhelmed. MSL and Pimp simply outgunning him. And now Estilo in this bomb site here with the stolen AK. He's going to have to come up really big. At about 25 seconds here, they're actually pushing back with the bomb towards the B bomb site, and they just play the round without even getting into a bomb site. It's a team ace here for Dignitas. Every single member picking up a kill each. That's just a very unorthodox round here.
I actually, thinking about the way that round played out, it's like, okay, they're taking the bomb to mid. Okay, that's a little interesting. But then, in reality, like setting up the split immediately is really cool team coordination. But also, because it already kills a player, then they could catch loads of players on rotation coming from B to A. Even if the A push fails, they're depositioning players on B. It just generally looks really good across the board. So again, good strategy and should be an easy, well, a very easy cleanup. Just a suicide round almost, as we had a full eco from the CT side of Immunity. But now they get more money at least to play their buy round with.
It all happened so fast, we hardly even noticed that MSL actually team killed Kirby in the middle of all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Good times. He's tough fragging MSL. I mean, maybe it's because he's taking a teammate every once in a while. It's a good way of doing it. Eliminated competition and all that stuff. Now they do have that AWP in play, and it's Ricky who's onto it. I'm super excited. He was a monster in the qualifier for the Gamescom Major, so we'll see if he could come up with, sorry, for the Cologne Major, see if we can come up with something big here.
Oh, I mean, they've actually got the boost up from Imagine, and this is quite a cool spot. It's he, of course, doesn't have the silencer, so he's going to have to be very on point and have an escape option, but we'll have Dignitas slowly pushing B, and this is really cool. If you've got a strong player like Kirby pushing the B storage, you've got to be super careful. He's going to take one player down. That puts a lot of pressure on the defense of Immunity now.
the player rotating to help out is Ricky with the AWP, but he's already been tagged up in the middle, down to 22 health, so now he's actually forced to play very passively, so he can't even help out Sniper that much. If there's a smoke going off to block anything off, he kind of has to respect that. He can't just come barreling through, but this is a great position to play defensively at. Very hard to grenade without getting also shot by the AWP, so we'll see if Ricky can make it work. Smoke goes up, Bomb is still very far back here, so 4 versus 4. They are finally going to sacrifice MSL to get in there while AC takes down Ustilo with the Molotov, and they seem to be bringing the bomb. They're really hesitant right now. Look at this.
This is really interesting what they're trying to do here, and they've actually cleared out the B-bomb site as well, sending a player there. So they're a little bit all over the place, but the bomb is finding its way towards the A bomb site, and we're getting kills from Ricky and Sniper at the moment. Imagine's in a key position, and he is going to go down, but Rick is still alive with the AWP. The time is running out. They have 10 seconds left to get the bomb down. AZ's the only man left. He manages to get himself the kill, but still that bomb has to go down. He's going to get it in the nick of time, but here comes Sniper. 12 HP on AZ. Sniper surely has this in the bag. AZ's going to try to back away. Nice grenade. Oh, that was so perfect. That pop flash. Oh, dear. It's going to end very poorly for AZ indeed, but it was a great effort, and it almost worked out.
This is so far probably the most ridiculous round we've seen in the qualifier. There was so many things that could have. First of all, I'm pretty sure Sniper could have just run in and try to gun against AC at the end there. But I'm also very everything was very confusing. But before they even got into the bomb site, as you said, they cleared out the B bomb site. But they were so far away. There's 20 seconds left when they realized they'd cleared it, so they didn't really feel comfortable running back. So they kind of committed to the bomb site where 2 people were in it, and they almost lost because of it. And then they ended up losing ultimately. That was just a completely chaotic round. I think Dignitas, it's great to be able to sort of change your focus middle of the round and go somewhere else. But you can't change it like 7 times, because then it's going to be too much. You know, do it like once or twice, maybe 3 times if you're feeling really brave. But flashbang into main here, as Ustilo is going to end up getting traded for MSL.
That was a really, really nice timing on the information play there, and it will actually give quite a good result, because little do Immunity know, Dignitas were actually looking, it looks like they were trying to set up an A execute there, but that's going to force them to make a different call now. We see them moving back. They may start to consider a bit of a delayed mid movement so that they can get themselves into that B site, as we see the bomb moving towards B storage, and Immunity have good presence in middle at the moment, and Riquez on the open vents. He is so key in this position for Immunity to win this round.
Yeah, I love this. This is how Nia would play on Virtus Pro. Just a little bit aggressive with the AWP, get the early information if someone's coming, then call for backup, see if Ricky can do it. He's all the way at the back and check it now. They've got another Molotov for him back here, so he has to move. Actually, he's going to get triple, or this double grenaded down. Nice shot from James, and Sniper helping out, taking down Schneider. So now it's AC and just Pimp left here. Great defense being put up here by the Australian team. Pimp, last man alive here. The Molotov is great, but it's not going to help him. He has to just try and see if he can get in here quick, and he goes down to James. Really got round, and look at the excitement as well.
Yeah, that was such a cool defense from Immunity. I loved how Ricky played it, because something we can notice from that is Ricky didn't make any kills when they were coming in, but what he did do was, of course, create a huge distraction, force them to use a lot of grenades, and of course we saw that eventually he did go down, but it allowed James to get like a way better engagement, basically, because they had to expose themselves way more. James could like figure out, okay, there's a guy here, there's a guy there, he can use his own grenades. Very nice team play, and we got a fast mid push coming in from Dignitas in the following round. They want to get dirty really, really fast here, straight in there, in amongst the smokes, and look at this clearing. It's going really well for them. A 1-for-1 trade is very nice.
It's because they got the damage again on Sniper. He's very low on health here, and they've got a lot of time. This is, as you were pointing out, really early in mid-control, which means they can do what they've been doing previously, which is sort of testing either bomb side. A good kill there from AZ as well. We'll drop Sniper finally, but the thing is, now, as we've seen, they have a preference here on the terrorist side to want to sort of switch back and forth, and when they've got more than a minute left, I mean, they can keep doing that for a long time.
Yeah, and this is so stressful as a CTs, especially when you're low on players. You have no idea what the hell is going on, and we can see Dignitas, they can take all the time in the world to just coordinate a defense. If they just play the trade game, they should be so solid here. AZ's already set up to go in here as well and catch rotations.
But this is smart. Ustilo actually just took a peek in A main, and now they're all rotating over to B. This is very smart round here from Immunity. If they win it, a large part of it will be down to Ustilo just getting that information. Good shot from Ricky, but instant return by Pimp, and now running it up on the high ground here and jumping down. He's going to spot 2 players, only gets 1. It's down to a 2v2. 2, and he sprays once again, but he can't get it. And Imagine here is very low on health. The Molotov inside could actually kill Pimp. The wall bang here is a little bit off, and another bullet, and Imagine would have been gone, but he's going to try and see if he can maybe clutch it here. He's got the defuse kit, he's got almost no health, but he really, really wants it, and Dignitas there just setting up the crossfire. He goes down to Pimp, who gets a triple kill, and it's a very, very close round. I mean, that was a 3v5 that they almost won, and it was down to Ustilo, that quick walk into A main. He saw nobody, they made an instant call to go B. It's overall, really smart play.
Yeah, it's always really cool to see teams that recognize this idea that, okay, we're in a disadvantage, we need to take a risk to try to even that out, instead of just being like very reactive and saying, okay, we're going to be okay being in this disadvantage. I like the respect for their opponent that they're going to, like, we have to take a risk now. Paid off. Unfortunately this time, as you said, it didn't quite go all the way, but it's so close, and now unfortunately they're back to Eco Town again, and Dignitas are really getting a strong T-half out straight away. And here it is. Nice little play there from Ustilo. Manages to get behind the smoke to get a quick sneaky frag. And even James can be chiming in as well. But Immunity are not long for this world, at least in this round. And we will see another buy coming up as once again an Eco is claimed. An Eco victory is claimed for Dignitas. They're getting a lot of these free ones.
And I think that, you know, what you're hinting at here is part of the key why they're struggling a bit, Immunities, because they're lacking so much of the equipment that they really need. They're never getting a really strong economy going. It's going to have to be one more chance to Eco here. It's 7-3. Dignitas are playing quite well at the moment. And I mean, this is really, as the panel was talking about, this is a team that's been struggling to qualify for majors. They must feel like it's their time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dignitas and Mousesports probably the two biggest names where I'm pretty sure these guys should be in the major right now.
Yes.
But another cleanup here, and I kind of respect again, you know, of course Immunity did get reset on their economy, which they've been economically just losing the wrong rounds, which is very unfortunate because we've seen how close they've come in some of these rounds as well. So just another cleanup coming in as we will see the awesome kill there. And Deek's just not doing it this round. And the Deagle is kind of better now, thanks to the hitbox update.
Yeah, Happy was kind enough to show us exactly how that works. Yeah. Just in case anyone was wondering, you could do some serious damage with it. But actually, it's been... I mean, I've talked to like a bunch of pros for a really long time, and I bet you have too as well. There have been people who have been convinced for the past year or something that the Deagle is a perfectly viable weapon, and you just have to master it, and you can be really good with it. I mean, how long have we seen Freiburg Deagling, for instance? It's been pretty much forever. So I feel like maybe it is like more consistent now for like a wider range of players, but I think it's actually in a really good spot, the Deagle.
Oh yeah, I actually agree with you, and I think the fun for me was always watching Simple, because I always felt like he was the best Deagle player, because of course his aim was ridiculous, but I am straying off topic a little bit, so we can dial it in now.
There's always room to talk about Simple, right?
Oh
just
yeah,
a little bit. I like that.
We've got to throw it in there. So, nice little AWP progression, nice pop flash though. That's so well planned out by Dignitas. That's really key. We'll get a trade coming in, but Imagine had to expose himself. He goes down to 19 HP. They are under a really fast assault here on this bomb site. Can they hold on now? It's 2 versus 3 for Immunity. The bomb is being planted amongst the smoke, and AZ's going to pick up a kill. That's really going to seal the deal for this bomb site hold at the moment, because James is so far away. He's got no support. This is looking very grim indeed. And, well, I'll have to see whether or not James can get some damage in it at the very least, but it's cool that Dignitas are able to throw mix the pace up in this way. Yeah. And there's just those little things like that pop flash. That is just, those little details is what makes a great team.
Yeah, I mean, we should highlight as well the fact that it's not that common for people to actually push that squeak door. That's sort of a slightly rare move, because it's such a big risk. If you push in squeak door and they end up going aggressive in main, you get trapped in a really weird spot. You can be made really irrelevant there, or you can just end up getting sort of overpowered. So the fact that they throw that pop flash is really cool. That obviously sets up the whole round there. Dignitas now up to 9, and Immunity 4 deals. I kind of wish Ustilo would pick up one here. Just, that bugs me.
Just like a completionist thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope we can get some nice deeks. There we go, there's one. And that's a weapon that they can claim as well. They don't necessarily know that, but, well, Dignitas don't care. They're just going straight for that A-bomb site. So let's see if Immunity can get some more nice shots with these deagles that they have. They are aware of the movements of Dignitas. MSL's going to open it up. Isillo with some nice tags. Wow, gets 2 straight away with the 5-7. And hey, this round is actually winnable here for Immunity.
Down to a 2v2. Stilo, maybe he should have actually bought this 5-7. Those were some of the sexiest shots I've seen in a very long time. He's going to try and fall back from Schneider, who does have the bomb and has a couple of grenades as well. Going to be jumping up on the forklift and all the way up onto the wreck container, looking for the shot. He's going to spray down. When he goes down to Stilo, it's a triple kill, and Immunity, they win the round. That was incredible. Those 2 shots, they were on point. You have to be in the zone to hit them.
Yeah, the focus was unreal. Just so awesome to see. And it feels about time that they got something that, you know, went their way, because they've been losing the wrong rounds, getting money screwed all the time. But now we're going to get a goodbye from them. They can really save this. But if they post six rounds, okay, it's not the best CTR in the world, but you can really work with that. And here we go. Dignitas, they want to just break them straight away. Again, Ustilo's behind them, though. And this is an excellent defense. Ustilo's going to pick up 3 kills straight away. And Dignitas melt just like that. They're all gone. Do you think Immunity are starting to adapt a little bit here?
I mean, it's hard really to say, because you're right. You're pointing out earlier, Dignitas have really changed the pace a lot. It used to be really aggressive early mid control. Now they've had some fast rounds, but they've also had generally just rounds where even when they have the control, they play really slowly. So it's hard for Immunity to really figure out what's coming next. So the fact that Stilo gets into that corner really quickly, he's also top fragging at the moment, and just sprays down 4 people. It's obviously one hell of a round. I think if we're right, if they can win this last round and win the pistol on the T side, we've still got a game on our hands here, but Dignitas are far away. MSL setting up to clear the vent over by B, where nobody's holding, but Sniper's going to see it coming, and that could be, you know, sort of a bit of information for him to work with.
Yeah, one of the really cool things as well is that the 2-1-2 versus the 1-3-1 setups, and Immunity have been forced to go 2-1-2 because of those fast pushes. Now we're seeing Dignitas taking it slow, going for mid, and Immunity, they've had a lot of time to just kind of try to figure what's going on at the moment. So they actually have players decently positioned. The only issue here is that Vent, how much do they know about Vent Room right now? Because Dignitas have found a nice little hole, and they're a bit dug in to this position. If they start attacking that bomb site with Molotovs, Immunity could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, James is going to have the defense of a lifetime here. Schneider's trying to sell the idea. There might still be a couple of people here, and James is actually walking out. Oh no, this is a disaster. There is no way. I mean, it would have been very nearly impossible for him to do it at the back of the site, but once he's out there, there's nothing you could do anymore. So, 1 grenade, and that I think shows you maybe a little bit that they're a little bit jumpy on the Immunity side, because normally 1 person throwing grenades over by Squeak Door shouldn't cause the only player on B to walk out. That's a little bit too much of a commitment, basically. It might have cost them this round here.
Yeah, it's really nice to see just a very slow round. Dignitas just playing it based on what they can see. And I got to say that something that I find impressive, and I think this is a hallmark of, again, a great team or a top team, is the ability to play rounds based on information that you get. And because you've got to have all the players who are of this mindset, okay, we're looking for these types of things. And then the information gets conveyed, and you need to like practice how you talk on comms and what's important information. Then your caller can be like, okay, based on what we've seen, I think this is most likely going to be good. And we could see them moving in the holes of the defense there, and they didn't do too much to create that. They just worked off of what they could deduce, and that was very cool to see. And we can see that Dignitas are definitely reaping the rewards. This is a great T-half from them, and they're certainly outplaying Immunity at the moment.
Yeah, they are. And I think not all styles are as visual as the one that Dignitas have been showing us here, because it's been very clear that they, you know, as you said, they get some information, they try and work off of it, and then they change their minds along the way. I mean, some people obviously play a much more committing style, like Envy, for instance. You know, they just pick up a kill somewhere, and then they just, you know, steamroll whoever's on the other side. You can tell that Dignitas are really trying to play a very structured game in that sense, which is very cool. Immunity, they're down 5 rounds. Second half is coming up. It's only the first map. It's a best of 3 here in the qualifiers, and even if they lose it, Immunity aren't out yet, so they're going to get plenty of chances to prove themselves here. It's 2 Molotovs here, though, on the terrorist side, and that's a little bit unusual.
Yeah, 2 Molotovs is really, really cool to see. There's so much use they can get out of that, but that said, Dignitas, Pimp will be able to spot what's going on. They see that movement coming into B. Can they be fast enough? They actually stacked A, did Dignitas, so they have a really long run to get there in time. And by the time they do get there, the smoke's locked them out. The bomb's going to be ticking away. But that said, MSL throwing a few shots through the smoke. That's going to pick up a kill. But imagine working those rotations, killing the rotations is going to be really important for Immunity. But Dignitas don't look like they are going to take any nonsense here. It's just pushing straight through the grenades, leaving Imagine to do a lot. And this bomb's being defused already. That was a ridiculous retake from Dignitas.
Yeah, because I actually thought, okay, if Imagine's in the middle, that means they're going to have a hard time retaking because they have to worry about, as they're pushing, getting shot in the back. But because they killed everyone on the bomb side, it didn't really matter. They could just push in like that. So a bit of a strange round there. And I think Justilo, because we've been praising him, and he has been playing terrifically so far. Once the smoke went up to CT spawn, he ran through it and got himself killed, and there was really no reason why that happened. That seemed to me like a very strange thing. I'm almost wondering if that was miscommunication, if he thought someone was going to flash through and, you know, say, because that could make sense, you know, throw a pop flash through the smoke and try and see if you can make that work. But he just kind of walked in and got himself killed, and that actually had a huge impact on the round, I think. It's no armor here, so, I mean, obviously a third round buy come out. They did put the bomb down, but, you know, when you're this far behind, you could try and risk it and say, let's just see if we can't make Tech9 armor work.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of arguments that can favor that kind of thinking when you're down this much, but yeah, the through the smoke thing, sometimes you got to be a hero, Anders. Sometimes you want to do the hero play. We've all been there. It's like, I know if I go through this smoke, I will emerge victorious.
And it feels so good, doesn't it?
It does,
when it
yeah.
works.
It really does. But yeah, nice cleanup from Dignitas here. It looks like they won't get that much damage dealt to them, although that said, Imagine with a nice kill at the end. And that's 2 frags. That's actually, considering the kind of buy we saw from Immunity there, that's good, basically 2 kills.
Are there any Australian superhero, like themed superheroes? Is that a thing? I want to say Captain Kangaroo, but that's like a cereal or something, isn't it?
Captain Kangaroo.
Captain Australia.
This is something I need to put some thought into this. I'm sure there's got to be like a really good one. Australia generally freaks me out though. I'm just afraid. There's so many things that can kill you and just brutally murder you. Coming from the UK where everything is just harmless.
Yeah, unless you go further up north, you know, they've got people with knives and stuff like that.
But we're back into this one. We've got AZ on the double there, just holding down the sandbags positions, very committed. And hey, he delivered 2 kills. It's a really big deal for AZ there. But in Dignitas, they got some information. Immunity, they need to make a good call here.
Well, it's possible still. They've got so much time, so they could find another opening if Dignitas are a little bit careless, you know, if they go and peek too much. And you can kind of tell Ricky is just praying, hoping that someone's going to stick his head out. He's looking slightly to the wrong angle, but if he could get a pick on someone here, then they're right back in the round. And they kind of do have to win it here. I feel like if it goes to 13-5, it's going to be very tough to bring it back. Ricky spots it, and there's the headshot. So a game of patience, essentially, between Ricky and Kirby, and Ricky wins it now. They're going to go and push for it. There's a guy still in the squeak. Pimp's going to go down inside the bomb site, and that was James with the shot. Now, Schneider, talking about superheroes here, Dan, he's going to have to try and be one. Opens it up, gets the one, gets the second, and Schneider closes it up. I think he did have a little cape on there. He was ready for it. Sniper now alone in a 1v2.
Yeah, this is a very hard spot. Although the sound cue from the door is something that's going to help Sniper here, but he's not got a lot of favors going his way. Nice kill there onto MSL. He knows, is he going to make this run? Is there time to, there is just about time for him to do this.
I think there's time.
He should be fine. He just needs 3.5 seconds to plant. Is he going to make it? He looks good. All right, he's going to get the plant straight away with a couple seconds to spare, or 1.5 seconds. And in comes Schneider. He knows the kind of angle Schneider's going to be coming from. Nice little flash there to delay. Here we go. Schneider's got to hit the shot of his life, but he isn't going to connect just yet. Takes a lot of damage there. Going to toss all the nades he has left on his utility belt. And he goes, oh wow, lands the bullet straight out on the peak, and he will get the defuse as well. The flames were a little bit too close for comfort there, but he just about is going to manage to win this round. Wow.
Yeah, it couldn't really have been many more seconds. That would have been over. So great triple from Schneider in that round. That's super impressive, isn't it? I mean, that was like that was just like a running pre-fire there coming out of upper. AC in the middle, obviously, with a really good double spray down to begin with. But this is the play, obviously, here that really makes the round even possible.
I love how he was waiting for the plant sound as well. So smart.
Can I just point out? I really, really wanted Sniper to actually plant right at the corner instead of a little bit further in the bomb site. if anyone's I wish he could have done that. I would have loved to have seen the outcome.
Invisible kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you
can hide the bomb in there. You can hide the bomb.
So sneaky Anders.
And another 2 seconds and that would have been the round. I'm just saying. Immunity, they're not so far behind that they actually do go for Tech-9 armor, a single Galil here. I think this is a reasonable play. They've got to turn it around now.
It's all about the execute. Taking their lives in their hands. Dignitas, if they win this, they go to 14. They'll be so close, 2 away then from just taking this one and beating Immunity on map 1. So Immunity going in for the execute. Got Dignitas now, they've called it. They got a lot of players to respond. They got some great crossfires going on. Kirby and Snyder combine. They combine to make the Megazord there. They're going to take down pretty much everybody. It's just Imagine left. And with no bomb down, with no kills, this round has not panned out at all for the Aussies. And Dignitas have got to be feeling very comfortable.
Snyder's really coming alive, isn't he? I mean, it was always sort of that question about, how does someone like that fit into the team? But right now, as long as he's allowed to do whatever he feels, it seems to be working out fantastically. That's going to put them at 14 rounds. And Snyder, I think, at 17 kills here, just starting out the 20th round. So doing a pretty good job at the moment. It's AKs and a single Tech-9 here on Ustilo, and they're going to go quick up the middle. Immunity trying to see if they can get some mid-control, but Schneider's going to be the first kill here, and AC following it up, even goes for seconds and takes down Ricky, and it's a complete massacre in the middle. Pimp looking for a shot on Imagine and does do a lot of damage. James goes down and Imagine to follow. I don't know what to say here. I like the idea from Immunity, but it feels like Dignitas are actually just outclassing them a bit here. I mean, just on a sort of aim battle level, they're just playing a little bit better.
Yeah, and I think maybe also Immunity, they feel, okay, we're really far behind. Maybe they feel like they've used some of their best rounds. Maybe they're not really sure at this point what is actually going to give us a win here on a bite. Yeah. So it feels like there's a tiny bit of desperation here. Dignitas are definitely taking advantage with all that composure. And here it is, the last effort from Immunity. MSL's going to get flashed straight in B storage, gets a quick kill. He still is able to get the return. So Immunity could build from this. It's a 4 versus 4 situation. He's got Vent Room under lock and key. And look at this, we've got 2 players from Dignitas turning their attention. This is an opening, but Immunity have to capitalize. He still is in a very horrible position behind the box. He's going to get taken out by Pimp, which now makes it a 4 versus 3. So Dignitas are looking strong. They've recontrolled the situation now.
With a shot from Kirby and Sniper going down as well, it's going to be all on James. 1 versus 4 here to prevent Cash from slipping into the hands of Dignitas. It's not going to work out. Kirby gets the kill. Top fragging ends up being AZ. And that is Dignitas taking the first map here in a best of 3 versus Immunity. That actually ended up being quite convincing, even though there were a lot of really close rounds in between. Dignitas just managed to clutch almost all of them.
Yeah, I think Immunity really needed that good CT start, and they just got denied. Yeah. It's always sad when the economy never really goes your way. But definitely well played to Dignitas. And yeah, with that said, I believe it's time to take a quick commercial break, guys, but stay with us. We'll be back for map 2 very shortly.